Okay, let's do a quick mic check. I see I haven't quite solved the problem. Thought I did, but I did not. Okay, let's try this again. All right, now it should be better. I swear I spent a bunch of time trying to fix this before stream, and I checked it and everything seemed fine. And then for stream, for some reason, it's quieter. Oh, and now it's all right. All right. All right. There we go. A little bit better. Anyways, oh, so one of the things that have all the filter set up, these game stuff, just gotta write shortcuts that I've made. Mute myself real quickly. Knees or something that weird for some why. Yeah, OBS. Glad it's But it's free. I just feel like something, although not entirely without it at all. Fair. Mission, a bit of a lot painting. Enjoy doing smaller paintings have advantages or but allergy right into the like that, right into mute work. Good. What I'm going to be focused on, just placement of things to begin with, to be anything out of place. So or A lot of times at this stage, things, but working on processes, the colors that are already there. Unless, of course, I want to leave it a whole different. Fairly confident. Not sure what. Do what. Still close. So the reference photo, I'm photo painting photo. Took the photo of my painting. Then where I took knocking down all the air too thick to if problem off the texture. Technically you can over it, but just the brush stroke. positioned. And do it with a profound pup. Welcome. Looking at me. What are you up to today? How am I? Good. How about you? Up? I'd say game stream varieties. Do art as well. Stop doing for your art streams. But I also remember watching you Elden Ring. Very difficult. Sorry, I missed what you said. Kind of cutting out. Oh, been having a ton of weird issues with audio settings, just changing OBS and stuff like that. I don't know if it's on. I was saying you are a game streamer. I was trying to tell people that you're a game streamer, also that variety streaming and art. Right. I lowered my noise gate a little. Hopefully that'll help a bit. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I've been having tons of OBS issues too lately. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Literally, like I had the shortcut keys for my audio so that I could mute real quick in case I sneeze or something like that. That disappeared. Like all the like gain and what's it called? Um, noise gate and the all the balancing stuff that I did just gone. All the filters gone. No idea why. Yeah. Seems okay now. Hopefully it stays that way. And sorry to hear you've been having issues as well. Are you still playing through Elden Ring? For anyone not into gaming, Elden Ring is a fantastic game, one of my favorites, and um, it's like a fantasy-based, you know, fantasy-based game. Yeah. Profound Pup says we beat Elden Ring, but going to go back and do the DLC sometime soon. Certainly doing, currently doing Dark Souls 3. Nice. I Elden Ring was my first FromSoft game, and I made the mistake of trying to go um, backward chronologically, and I went to Sekiro, and I had a really bad time in Sekiro. I haven't finished Sekiro. I do want to go back to it, but I haven't. Um, I didn't get very far. I wasn't you know, getting the blocking and everything. Really, I had a hard time with it. I think now I'd have an easier time with it though. Um, but I did go to Dark Souls 3, and I did beat Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 was fun. And then I went to Dark Souls 1 because I heard 2 was horrible, and I didn't beat 1 yet. I kind of gave up on it after a while because it was very janky, but I want to get back to it and finish it. Profound Pup says, I heard Sekiro is brutal. It looks so damn cool though. Sekiro, I don't know because I didn't get very far in it. My issue with Sekiro is that there's you don't dodge in Sekiro, you block. It's all about blocking and countering. And so you have special counters for special moves. And they kind of give you a heads up for it, but they use they use, if I'm not mistaken, it's Japanese characters to kind of show you what it is, and on the screen, like writing. And I don't know, I don't remember if it comes up in English as well. But I'm dyslexic, and so I have a really hard time distinguishing between the different like the different names that pop up. And so and I've never been like great at blocking in Elden Ring or any of those games. Um, so I had a really hard time with it. But, I do want to go back and give it another try because I did play what's it called? Life of P, and that I got good at blocking in. So I'm thinking maybe I can, get better at Sekiro. I haven't played the what's it called? The DLC of Life of P. Yeah, I haven't gotten to that yet. I don't know. I want to, I just haven't had the time. Plus, I feel bad spending money on another game when I have quite a few games that I haven't finished that I could just, play. So it's like I have to, you know, beat those ones first before I can justify buying another DLC. But yeah, they don't have dodging iframes in Sekiro, and that drives me nuts. Which also means you can't panic roll, you know? The other thing I found difficult with Sekiro is the like the way Fountain Pup says no panic roll sounds like a nightmare. Yeah, I know, right? The thing I like about Elden Ring and Dark Souls that I don't like about Sekiro is that in Elden Ring, the only punishment you get for dying is that you drop all your money, right? In Sekiro, if you die too many times, there's this, I don't know what it is exactly. I'm not clear on it because they don't do a great job of explaining it, but there's kind of a punishment uh, on your character that you get. Um, and they do give you like a what's the word? Like I forget the word for it. They're like a pity system too. So like if you die too many times, they do something to kind of help a little bit. But I don't like that. I don't like the additional punishment if you die type of thing because then you know, it doesn't encourage you to, really try. It encourages you to be more guarded kind of thing, you know? And I really dislike that fact of the game. So I think what what I'm going to do next time I attempt it is I am going to actually I'm basically going to create two games that I'm going to run in parallel. And once I figure everything out with the one save, jump back to the other save and then go do it again kind of thing, which I hate. I don't like the idea of doing that, but it's like that's the only way I feel comfortable kind of doing it. I don't know. Also, apparently there's more than one ending, so if you want to get like the true ending or something, I don't know. Not sure. In Elden Ring, I got all the endings. Smart, one save to get your practice in. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. In Elden Ring, I got all the endings, and I have one save in Elden Ring that I'm trying for um, New Game Plus 7. I'm on New Game Plus 5 at the moment, but I haven't touched it in a while. I also got beat Lies of P 3 times to get the three different endings. If you ever want to do that, my recommendation is um, I'm not going to say any other details, but um, at the end you have the option of, we'll say, giving up. Not exactly. I'm trying not to give away anything. You'll know when you get there, but save that one for the third for the third one. It makes life a lot easier. Because the last boss in that game is tough. That is way too dark, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Interesting. LOL noted. Yeah. Unless you're god tier at blocking, in which case, have fun with it, I guess. However you want. But yeah, the blocking is so fast in the last boss. I'm not giving anything away. It gets progressively harder as you go through it, right? So it's not like I'm, giving away hints here. You'll see it throughout the game. But yeah, I should say the perfect guard, not the like regular blocking, countering, I guess. Anyways, good luck with Dark Souls 3. I think you'll. Uh, how far are you in it? Are you like almost done with it or just starting? Oh, and also, when's your next stream? Are you streaming tonight? If you feel like it, and you give me the link to you know, your Twitch, I'll copy paste it into my YouTube chat as well, so anyone watching now or later will be able to see it. Prevent Post says, I think we're more than halfway done with it. Really enjoying it so far. Nice. Good, good, good. You're actually getting set up to stream right now? Awesome. Well, I hope you have a good stream. And if you're still streaming when I'm done, I'll stop by. I might try and raid, although the dual streaming thing messes me up with like raiding people and all that. Um, you know, it's just too complicated for me sometimes. But regardless, I'll try and stop by. There we go. So there's really no one in my YouTube chat at the moment. I keep changing my stream time, which has been throwing people off a lot. I should not do that. But they will be able to see it also if anyone watches after the fact. So, they can they'll still be able to see it in chat and decide if they want to go check you out, which I do recommend. Oh, and you also have a basically a VTuber avatar too, right? Is that permanent? I know I've seen it lately, but I wasn't sure if that was like all the time or is that sometimes? You know nothing about dual streaming, but I can imagine it's a pain when it comes to stuff like raids. Yeah, it's just too much technology stuff. I also can't even, I also, because I have so much stuff on my screen, like I have, the two chats, OBS, the stream health, and then my reference and everything. I don't even have it set up so that like when people follow me or, do anything like that, like I don't get any of the notifications. I see them later. It is permanent, yeah, the VTuber model. Nice. It's a cool model. It's an absolutely fantastic looking model. Did you make it yourself or did you hire someone? Just curious. Either way, it doesn't matter. I'm just asking. It is impressive though, regardless, because I looked into setting up a VTuber model and all the, all that like the details of it. And oh my God, the not just like designing the model, but the technical stuff about it and the technical stuff about streaming like that is a lot. It is very impressive. It's a customizable model that I bought, hoping to get my own custom model made someday, but they are very expensive and rightfully so. They are, absolutely. Actually, I know a few people who make them. Like I don't know them like I'm like, oh, my personal friends, but I've met them on in a few group chats and stuff like that. Um, so yeah. But also the process of streaming with the model is seems very involved because I know you have to set up the tracking software and everything, but then also like there's toggles and stuff like that to have like different expressions and so on. Um, you know, I mean, obviously, but other people might not know that, and it's actually pretty involved and makes it just adds another layer of like something to pay attention to. That's too bright, but okay. Gotta remember to stretch. I'm recording everything on my camera and I have to give it a bit of a break every once in a while because it will overheat otherwise. Okay, got to lurk, but it was nice chatting with you for a bit. Hope you have a great stream. Thank you very much. It was great chatting with you as well. Have a great stream. All right, now I can get to actually painting. All this was just kind of placement. Now it's time to get into the actual painting. I often refer to this stage that I just did as the drawing stage or a drawing stage, where I'm just kind of trying to push things into the correct place or draw them, into the correct place. Like I said, if I do draw, actually draw on, I'll use like my quinacridone rose color to just draw over everything. But I find it a little time consuming in this because you put down the marks, but then eventually you have to cover them up. So I started doing this where I try and mix the colors that are already there, regardless of if they're the correct ones or not. That doesn't matter. I just try and use the local color that I have, and then, later, if I need to correct colors, I can. But that way I don't have the, quinacridone rose in places I don't want it. Having said that, you know, it is it is a cool effect to have the quinacridone rose over things, and that can be a cool look. So it's not always desired to get rid of it. It's just a matter of personal, preference. Hey, Des. Good to see you. How you doing? By the way, how is the volume and the sound? Let me know if it sounds pretty much like my normal thing. Des is everywhere. Thank you, Des. I appreciate you being everywhere. How are you doing, Des? If anyone is wondering why this strong, mark like that, because her mouth is doing this little like slight puckering in her smile. I think to give herself, I don't know if it's on purpose or not, but like that's just the shape of her. Could just be because of, the teeth underneath. Um, but got that little bit of a roundness coming down from her on her upper lip. So trying to convey that, and obviously I'll need to finesse that quite a bit before it's done. But It's kind of like marking it for myself so that I, you know, pay attention to it and put it in properly when the time comes. Yeah, so are you still here? Yes, you are. Okay. Um, what's it called? I saw the link you sent me about the event. I didn't know if that was a public link, like something I should share or not. Um, you know, the cats are playing. I can hear them chasing each other around the house. Not sure if it's fully public yet. I can ask my sister. Okay, yeah, no problem. So Des is uh, doing basically running and organizing for the most part a charity event and doing almost all the artwork for it as well, where they auction off artwork for this charity. A really uh, cool event. You haven't heard from either of the printing places I reached out to? Yeah, organizing stuff's a pain, you know? I'll have to go in and talk to them face to face. Sometimes that's the only way, unfortunately. That says, ooh, people. Yeah, I get that. Next month, I'm going to be at a 3-day art fair trying to sell my paintings and stuff. So, you know, there'll be a lot more people there. You would be so drained. I'm sure I will be drained. I am a little nervous about some of it because the setup is a little I don't know the details of the setup. Like it's not a normal like tent. Um they're using like these extra large tents, and I don't know how I'm going to set up everything in that. Because usually when you do like art fairs, everyone gets, people bring their own tents, or it's a similar, or they use a similar tent. The common one is a 10 by 10. Um, but this, what they do is they put up these larger like event tents, and these tents are like, the problem is I don't know the size. Hi, Dresden. Dresden says hello. Dresden, say hello to everybody. So I think the tents are something like 20 feet by 30 or 40 or something. So they'll have like 2 rows of people in it, but I don't know. And I don't know how to plan to have my setup, because my setup kind of relies on the tent because I hang everything off of the tent. So I don't know how it's going to work. Dresden, say hello to everybody. They're so cute. You have horrible breath, Dresden. Okay. This says I have a cat on my table right now in front of me, occupying my mouse pad and insisting on pets. Fair enough. And also, I went to Walmart tonight and got overwhelmed. Yeah, I feel that. I like that sometimes. The thing I hate is I find like, I go to a store and I try and find something, and it's like, sometimes I feel like the logical place of things, they don't put them in the logical place, and you try and find it, and there's just that stuff overwhelms me because there's so many options and everything, and it's hard to pick out from all the, like, you know all the options, like, what's it called, like, as an example, like if you go to the cereal, I don't really buy cereal, but if you go to the cereal, there's like all the different cereals, and there's just so many pictures and so much type and everything. It just kind of blends together and just becomes a blob and a wall of just stuff. It can be really frustrating to try and find the exact kind you're looking for, at least for me. And that goes for every product, not just, not specifically, not specifically cereal, but yeah. Exactly. I didn't know where anything was. They had clothes next to the food, and the veggies were in the bakery area. So weird. Yeah. Yeah. And then yeah, I've had all kinds of problems like that. Just like things are just not where you expect them to be. But yeah, stores are frustrating a lot sometimes. I do prefer and try to go when there's the fewest amount of people because, that can also be frustrating to deal with sometimes. I've joked before that I feel like they need to give people, uh, walking lessons. You know how people get driving lessons. They need to give people walking lessons, how to like just walk around when there's other people around them. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure I've messed up too, stepped out in front of someone right as they're about to like, cross or whatever. No one's perfect, but oh my God, some people just seem oblivious to everything around them. It's really refreshing to actually paint larger. Been a while since I've last painting I did that was this size was the one I did for Portrait Society, and that one was even though it was this size, the face was a lot smaller in it, so it definitely felt a lot different. I said it last stream, but this brush is normally my like the big brush that I use, and I'm still using it as my big brush, but it's feeling very um, small in comparison to how it normally feels. I do have larger brushes. I'm just being lazy. This is tired. I'm so sorry if I'm quiet. Oh, it's no problem. I was planning on streaming earlier than this today, but I was building a frame. It's a 30 by 40-inch frame, and at that size, um, little things like small imperfections in the wood. Well, I guess it depends, like the type of imperfections, but like slight bowing and stuff like that uh, get accentuated because it's over like a long distance or a longer distance. So I've been having to do a lot of hand, you know, uh, like I don't know what the right word for it is, but just a lot of work to fix it and make sure that everything looks good. So, and I have a limited time I can do all of that stuff because it's out in the garage and there's like a window of time that I can do that. So, so I didn't get around to streaming until later than planned. But I'm trying to get around and get to saying. Yeah, it sucks. If in the, well, not in the morning, but in the earlier part of the day, I can't work in the garage because everything, what's it called? Everything is all reflecting the sun right into my garage. So like the other cars and the other houses and everything reflect the sun right into my garage. So even though I'm indoors, I will probably get sunburn if I work in the garage, and it's way too hot either way. So like I said, I have a limited time. This is still recovering from that wisdom tooth extraction. Oh yeah, I forgot to ask you how that went. I'm sorry. Sorry, I forgot about that. How did it go? Hopefully it wasn't too bad. I know you were a bit nervous about it and everything. It was rough. The dentist couldn't get a good grip and was shaking with the effort and trying to pull it out. Took forever. And if I chew, my jaw hurts a lot. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I was hoping it wouldn't be I was hoping you would have an easy time with it. I've had not, I didn't have a tooth extraction, but I've had something that kind of reminds me of what you're describing. Probably not as bad as yours overall because it wasn't as, bad of a procedure. But I had a tooth that, like I said, it should have had extracted, but they ended up just putting in a filling. But the filling broke at one point. Not the whole thing, just like the top part of it. Like, I don't know what, something, chipped or whatever. So I went to a dentist to fix it. Um, and because it's such a deep filling, I can feel everything on it when they go to drill. So they kept giving me shots, and the dentist at one point was trying to give me like more shots because it I still was like it wasn't numbing me. So she like I could see her like jamming the needle in really, really hard. And everything was numb except for that tooth. Like everything was numb. So I didn't feel it, it didn't hurt. I just felt the pressure of everything. And when she pulled the needle back, I saw the tip of it was bent. I was just like, okay. I feel like maybe you shouldn't be putting so much pressure on the needle there. Like I said, it wasn't as bad as what you dealt with pain-wise, I'm sure. I'm just saying, just it was funny, or at least now it's funny. But yeah, like I said, I've had friends who have had like teeth extracted and they were pretty fine the next day, like the day of and the next day. So it really is a, you know, uh, like just depends. Sometimes I guess it's not that big of a deal. Sometimes it is. Um, well, hopefully you recover quickly because it is miserable when you can't like chew and eat and stuff like that. I get it. Totally get it. I got a little distracted, but what I'm trying to do right now with the hair is I'm trying to like build up the different, we'll call it like chunks of hair, like the bigger shapes of hair. I did get a little distracted, but yeah, that's what I'm trying to do right now is build up those bigger shapes of the hair. I'm also trying not to just paint with like pure black, so I keep mixing a lot. So I'm trying not to worry about the individual strands, just get the big shapes in there. And I'm focused on the dark, well, trying to be focused on the dark, because with hair and things like hair that have, a lot of layers to them, you want to put down, like, or I try to put down the layers that are behind so that as I paint and build up, even if I cover it, some of that will peek through and it'll feel more natural and give, the more natural illusion of things. So that's why I'm trying to keep it dark for the most part. I do realize I went a little light on some of that, but she has like little hair type that clips, little hair clips in her hair. It does have very fine hair, and in this area, it is covering up her forehead. And so the two are kind of blending together a bit. It'll be interesting to resolve this because right now it looks like a thing of hair, but really this is all very wispy. And then here's where like more solid hair is kind of coming into it. And one thing I am trying very, very, very hard to kind of keep out of my mind, or not keep out of my mind, but not to focus on and to be willing to, you know, go against is there's a very common trope that the more lines, the more detail, the more hard lines and artifacts that you put in to someone's face, it tends to age them, and also it tends to um, make them look older, and um, it can also, generally speaking, make them look less attractive, or maybe attractive is not the right word because obviously she's a child, so pretty. It's usually referred to when doing like pinups in women. You'll notice they often like just do very, very smooth faces and very smooth skin. That's the idea, right? And children, it's because children just have smooth skin because they're, you know, children. That's what it is, right? Um, but I don't really paint like that. Like I don't paint super smooth, and I do put in chunky lines and marks and everything like that. That's why a lot of people prefer to paint like when they're when they're when they have a time limit, they prefer like old men because you can just not worry about it and just put in a ton of, ton of chunky lines and marks and it won't matter. Um, but you can still paint children and beautiful women without doing smooth, everything. So it's definitely a little bit more challenging, but you definitely can do it. I'm trying not to have that always like weighing on me and defining how I approach the painting. Um, but yeah, you know, Jennifer Balkin, one of my favorite painters, is a perfect example that is painted both children and attractive women, and she does it with a ton of chunky marks and everything. So I don't even have to, go based off of my paintings. I did kind of cut into her neck here a little too much. It is kind of, her neck and the back of her hair. It's all kind of in shadow there, but I overdid it a little bit. Let's bring that back. That is too dark, but that's okay. This part is more accurate. Now I need to adjust it a bit more. There we go. Funny, because part of that stroke is accurate, part of it is way too dark. I am getting some uneven paint application because some areas are very wet, some areas are nearly dry. Uh, I probably should have just left the painting to dry completely and then come back to it. Ooh, all right. It's starting to take form. Definitely is looking a lot better than she was, the end of last stream. Hard for me to know the colors that you all are seeing because, cameras aren't perfectly accurate and whatnot. Also depends on the screen and, complicated, but yeah. It is challenging to see the whole uh, painting in reference because of the size difference. I am, let's see, should have done this earlier, but I'm going to run a 3-minute ad on Twitch just for a quick break. So just a heads up, letting you know. Reason I run ads on Twitch is because the what's it called? The pre-roll. If you run a 3-minute ad, it turns off pre-rolls for a while, which is good. So I'm gonna take a quick minute here to stretch my back anyways. Oh. To be clear, I really don't make any money off of the ads. I don't have enough viewers to, make money off of the ads. At least for now. Her shirt has a little like animal design on it. Actually, two. I'm debating if I want to include any of it in it or not, because it cuts off like midway. Um, Forgot to ask if this is a shirt she loves, because if she loves it, then I guess I'll include it. At least the larger of them, because there's uh, two cartoon characters on it, and one's like really small and faint, and one's very clear. I think maybe the big clear one I'll include, and the other one probably leave out. Okay, so here I'm running into an issue of like the limitation of the paint, right? Because I can brighten this up or lighten this a little bit without going to like pure white, but there's not a lot of range there left to me at least, you know. So what I'm probably going to have to do is instead of like right now I'm trying to paint in the like highlights or the not highlights, but yeah, the I'm trying to define like the folds and everything. I'm trying to use the lights to, you know, bring that forward, but I'm hitting the limitation of the paint. So I'm going to have to go darker with some of the other parts instead. Not crazy dark or anything, but just a little darker. Still needs to be pink, but you know, just a little darker. Now, I mean, obviously this is already darker, but this just gives me the room to, you know, with these values now, I can mold the shape of the fabric. I'm not expecting to get the character perfect right now. I'm just getting the general placement of it on the shirt, and then I'll compare later when I check my placement of everything, and then I can, make corrections as needed. And even though the thing, I don't know what it is, a cat, dog, I'm not sure, um, is white. Right now it's wet into wet paint. It's a little hard to get the white, very white. And that is absolutely fine with me because I'm not going to get the placement right anyways. And I don't want to put pure white on the canvas right now anyways. And honestly, it's not pure white anyways. Might be a white graphic, but there's shadow and everything on it, so it's not perfectly white regardless. Same with the black in the design. Like I said, I'll do the comparison and make sure everything's in the right place. Nope, wrong color in the wrong place. Trying to make some hierarchy here. What I'm trying to do is, well, not get paint all over me right now, which is, we'll see if I pull that off. This is how I'm holding my brush. There we go. Okay. I'm trying to do like more red up here, more yellow down here, but very light overall. So the lighting on this photo sucks. Poor painting. Fine lighting otherwise. Very flat, you know, shows the shows her face. It's fine. Very, very flat though. So I'm trying to bring out more dimension than it actually has. We'll see how that goes. And I wouldn't say that I'm trying to change the lighting, but I am accentuating aspects of it more than others, trying to once again give more dimension to her by doing that. But she does not have a unibrow, so let me fix that. Right now, that harsh line is a little too much. So let's fix that because it's not that extreme. A little better. Oh, I missed a message from Des. Des says, looking forward to painting tomorrow. Having trouble with my dog keeping me up at night, so hopefully he'll sleep tonight. Hope so. Good luck, Des. I really, you know, really hope so. Those little fur babies can really be annoying sometimes. I am the proud owner of a orange cat, so trust me, I know. He has. I'm not kidding. He jumped on the headboard of our bed and makes noise and scratches and cries when he, to wake us up and stuff. And he once saw something in the corner of the wall um, that he thought he saw and jumped headfirst into the corner and, smacked against the wall and then just slid down because just a wall. I don't know what he thought was going to happen. But yeah, stuff like that will wake you up. They are nuts. Yes, they are. Absolutely. It's a combination of nuts and also really dumb. And I've seen Dresden trying to hunt his shadow before, you know? I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, and I don't mean just like for a second. I mean like an ongoing thing where he's just like, what is this thing? Keeps trying to figure out what it is for like 20 minutes. I'm not talking like a second where it's like, what is, oh, okay, whatever. No. Yeah, just not bright. I love him though. He's so adorable. But yeah, dogs and cats can definitely only be difficult when you want to sleep and they are, you know, being being a problem. Especially if you want to sleep in and they're used to being fed at a certain time and they're like crying for food because they think that you forgot them and you will never feed them again ever unless they wake you up and you just want to sleep in an extra hour. But yeah, by brightening this area, even though it's darker, I know this area sticks out and doesn't entirely work with the lighting, but the lighting is so flat that it's really, really hard to like say exactly where the lighting is coming from. So I'm going to kind of pick this line as the areas to lighten because that will bring everything in that line kind of forward, and then that will give everything a little bit more dimension. Like I said, I realize it's not perfectly accurate because like if I'm looking at her nose, there's highlight kind of here and then a little here, but it's not like that highlight is right on that side. But like there is, I if I had to say it, I'd say the lighting is kind of coming from this direction overall, like as an overall, but it is so diffused. It's not perfect. So I'm going to kind of think of it as like lighting coming more like directly at her and just, like I said, just highlight this area. Not perfectly accurate, That's fine. I'm going to treat it as if there are essentially multiple, you know, lighting sources and just do whatever I feel like doing so that it looks better. And if it's not perfectly accurate looking and something looks a little, you know, dreamy because of that or whatever, that's fine. And the reason I say dreamy is because sometimes when lighting isn't as accurate, it can give it that kind of like slightly unrealistic, like dream, quality to it, or fantasy sometimes, or all kinds of ways to describe it. But yeah. I'm pretty sure her ear is a little too big if I'm looking at it right now, but I'll carve back into it with the darks, no problem. Alrighty. Yep, just like I thought. All right. I had to stop my recording because I hit the time limit on it. And I see I've been streaming for like 2 hours plus. So I think I am going to call it a day for today. And I'll be back on Sunday. You know, maybe I'll stream between Sunday and today. I don't know. We'll see. But I think I'm going to call it a night. Um, Yeah. So I think, I think I made quite a bit of progress today on this, and it's come along quite a bit. So that's good. That's always good. Anyways, but yeah, thank you everyone for hanging out. Anyone watching the VOD on this, go check out Profound Pup if you like gaming, um, gaming streams. And um, Des says, see you next time. Yeah, see you next time. Des, I hope you feel better. And for everyone else, see you next time. And I am working on a new video, always working on new videos. So hopefully those will be out. One of those will be out soon. Fingers crossed. Yeah, that's all I got for now. Have a good one, everybody.